Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time, we were looking at the big picture, right? Creating that kind of map of our lives, setting the scene.
Exactly, that was the wide view. Today, we're zooming right in. We're talking about the foundational skill you need to actually navigate that map effectively. For real, lasting change.
So moving from the static map to, what did you call it? Reading the real-time weather.
Yeah, the weather inside, your thoughts, feelings, even those little body signals we usually ignore, moment by moment.
And the framework we're exploring calls this the gentle art of self-observation.
That's the one. It sounds simple, maybe, but it's absolutely core. If you want genuine presence, real choice. This is where it starts. It's the difference between being yanked around by every feeling and, well, choosing your relationship to that feeling.
Okay, let's unpack this. The starting point, you mentioned, is this state called fusion. What does that actually mean? How would I even know if I'm fused?
Well, fusion is pretty much the default for most of us. It means there's no daylight between you and your internal experience. You think the thought is you, the emotion is you.
That sounds subtle. Isn't that just having an emotion, like feeling sad?
It's subtle but crucial. Look
Yeah.
at how we talk. We don't usually say, I'm noticing a sensation of sadness arising.
No, we say, I am sad.
Exactly. Or I am a failure, not I'm noticing a thought about failing. Or even that guy is an idiot, not I'm feeling irritated by that comment.
Got it. So that I am statement, it makes the feeling or thought seem like
Yeah.
the whole truth of who I am in that moment. Permanent, absolute.
Precisely. And when you're fused like that, there's zero space. Something happens, a stressful email lands, someone cuts you off, and bang. Instant reaction. There's no gap.
You're just carried away, like a current.
Totally carried away. You're just reacting based on whatever feeling or thought is shouting the loudest inside.
Okay, so if that's the default, being stuck in the current, how do we start to interrupt it? What's the first clue that tells you, hang on, I'm fused right now?
Often, the first clue is that feeling of being compelled. Like you have to react a certain way. There's no sense of choice, just reactivity.
Right, that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, and self-observation is designed to create that choice, that space. But just talking about separation is a bit abstract, isn't it? We need a better way to picture it.
Definitely need something more concrete.
Yeah.
What's the mental model then? How do we shift from being reactive to being, well, this observer?
The river analogy. It's incredibly helpful here. Just picture this. You're sitting quietly on the bank of a river. Maybe it's flowing fast.
Okay, sitting on the bank.
Yeah.
And the river itself is.
That's the stream of consciousness. All your thoughts, your feelings, those body sensations, everything just flowing past.
And the bits and pieces in the water.
Yeah.
The leaves, twigs, muddy patches.
Those are the specific thoughts. The worry about that deadline, the flash of annoyance at your neighbor, the mental grocery list, it's all just stuff floating by in the stream.
Okay, I can picture that. And usually we're not on the bank, are we?
Usually, no. We spend most of our lives in the river, getting tossed around, swamped by the waves, convinced we are the river, believing the current dictates everything.
So the practice, self-observation, it's choosing to get out.
It's that simple, gentle choice. Just deciding, okay, I'm stepping out of the water now. You walk over to the bank, sit down. Suddenly, you're not in the chaos anymore.
You're watching it.
You're the watcher, the awareness that sees the river flowing. You're grounded on the bank.
So if a big wave of panic comes downstream from the bank, I don't have to dive in and get swept away by it.
Exactly. You can just note it. Look at that. There's a panic wave. Or maybe anger surges up. You note, okay, anger is present.
And that act of just noticing it confirms what?
It confirms that you are not the panic. You're not the anger. You are the awareness that can see the panic, that can witness the anger. That awareness, that watcher on the bank, that's you. That's the calm center, even if the river's going crazy.
That's a powerful image. But let's be real. When you're actually in it, say, you get that email that just makes your blood boil. How on earth do you remember you even have a bank to step onto? Where do you practically start?
You start with the most reliable piece of equipment you have. Something that's always right here, right now.
Your body.
The body. Why the body first? Is this just sneaking in some meditation?
Well, it is mindful, but there's a reason. Your body is always present. It doesn't time travel to worry about tomorrow or replay yesterday. It's right here. And it's an incredible barometer for what's really going on inside you.
Okay, so thoughts can spin out, but the body reacts instantly.
Instantly. You might not even realize you're stressed for, say, 5 minutes, but your shoulders probably tensed up the second you read that email. Your stomach might have clenched.
So the actual technique is
Hmm.
like an internal check-in.
Yes, exactly. Just pause. Turn your attention inward for a second and just notice. Don't try to fix anything. Don't judge it. Just feel. Is there tightness anywhere?
Mm.
Maybe your chest, your jaw. Is there a fluttering in your stomach? And just noticing is enough. Yeah. Like silently saying, huh, my shoulders are tight.
That is the first step onto the bank, that simple recognition. My shoulders are tight, without adding, oh no, I need to relax. That act itself starts to loosen the fusion. It creates a tiny bit of space.
Okay, so anchor in the body first. Then I guess we tackle the mind itself, which feels trickier.
It is trickier. Thoughts are slippery, and the mind is just relentless, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't stop.
And that's the key thing the teaching emphasizes. The goal is not to stop thinking. You can't stop the river. Trying just creates more struggle.
So what is the goal then with thoughts?
Simply to notice that you are thinking, to become aware of the process itself.
Ah, okay. That changes things. So if I realize I've been lost for 10 minutes worrying about a conversation I need to have, that moment I realize, wow, I was totally lost in thought. That's the win.
That is pure gold. That moment of waking up is mindfulness. It doesn't matter you were gone for 10 minutes. What matters is you noticed, you came back to the bank. No judgment needed, just, there I was, caught up in worrying mode. That is the practice.
And there's a tool to help with that noticing, right? Labeling.
Yes, labeling can be really helpful, especially when the thoughts feel strong or sticky.
How does that work?
You just silently apply a simple, neutral label to the stream of thought. If you're replaying an argument, maybe label it remembering or reviewing. If you're mentally running through your to-do list, label it planning. If you're imagining worst-case scenarios, maybe worrying or anticipating.
Just a one-word tag. What does that actually do?
It subtly shifts the thought from being you, I am worried, to being something you are observing. There is worrying. It turns it into an object floating down the river rather than the river itself sweeping you away. It creates that little bit of distance.
That makes sense. But it sounds like it takes, well, practice, diligence. The name is gentle art, though. So we're not aiming for constant vigilance.
Oh, absolutely not. Perfection isn't the goal. It is gentle. If you only remember to consciously step onto the bank, once or twice a day, that's huge.
Really? Just once or twice?
Yes, because every single time you do it, even for a breath, you are strengthening that muscle of awareness. You're literally carving out new neural pathways. You're gently rewiring your brain for presence, little by little.
Okay, so what's the big payoff then? Why keep making these small, maybe seemingly insignificant efforts every day?
Because slowly, steadily, that space starts to grow. That gap between the stimulus, the trigger, and your habitual reaction. And here's the core insight. In that space lies your freedom.
Freedom. Freedom to choose, instead of just automatically reacting.
That's it exactly. Think about a common annoyance. Someone sends a curt email. Fused reaction. Immediate stress, maybe fire back an equally curt reply, stew about it for an hour.
Right, been there.
But from the bank, you feel the heat rise, maybe the urge to snap back. You notice it. Irritation. You feel the tightness in your chest. Okay, body reacting. You take a breath, then you choose. Do I need to reply now? How do I want to respond constructively? The choice is yours.
You don't stop the initial feeling, but you decide whether to pour fuel on the fire.
Precisely. Or that nagging thought of self-doubt pops up. Instead of immediately believing it, yep, I'm going to fail, you see it. There's the not good enough story again.
Yeah.
You acknowledge it, just a thought pattern, and let it float on by down the river. You see it, but you don't have to board that boat.
Because you're the observer on the bank, not the thought itself.
You are the observer. You're not the storm. You're the calm awareness watching the storm. That realization is where the control comes from, realizing the chaos isn't you.
Okay, this is incredibly valuable, so let's make it super practical. How can someone listening right now start building this awareness muscle this week? What's a concrete first step?
The source material calls them mindfulness anchors. It's a really specific, easy thing to set up.
Anchors. Okay, so like tying the practice to something solid.
Exactly. You pick a routine, everyday activity, something you do multiple times a day without fail, like washing your hands, or waiting for the coffee machine,
Right.
or maybe stopping at a red light.
Something unavoidable.
Right. And you designate that activity as your trigger, your anchor.
So every time I wash my hand, that's my cue.
That's your cue. It's a little bell ringing, reminding you. Okay, invitation to step onto the bank for just a moment, and we're talking maybe 60 seconds. That's it.
1 minute. What do you do in that minute?
A quick 3-step check-in. 1, Briefly scan your body. What sensations are present? 2, notice one thought that's active right now, just one. See it float by. 3, feel one breath, just the physical sensation of breathing in and breathing out.
Body, thought, breath, quick check-in.
That's it. Those tiny repeated 1-minute moments anchored to things you already do, they add up way faster and build the muscle more effectively than, say, trying to force yourself into a long meditation session once a week that you end up skipping.
It makes it manageable, integrates it right into the flow of the day.
Exactly. It becomes your recurring invitation to practice.
This has been fascinating, really drilling down into that shift from being fused, just swept along by the current, to finding that witness perspective on the bank, that place where you actually get to choose your next step.
And that witness perspective, remember, it is that calm center, even when things feel stormy. The freedom really does live in that space you learn to create. It just takes that gentle, consistent practice.
Okay, so here's something for you, the listener, to take into your week. The challenge. Can you identify one specific, maybe difficult daily trigger? It could be opening a certain type of email, a notification from a particular app, maybe interacting with a specific person, something that usually makes you react automatically while you're in the river.
Find that one thing.
And this week, just once, maybe twice, can you try to approach that specific stimulus from the bank? Can you try to notice the reaction starting in your body? Notice the thought arising before you jump into your usual response.
Don't worry about changing the response yet. Just focus on that simple act of noticing, that tiny moment of awareness.
That's where it all begins. We'll leave you with that thought. See you next time on The Deep Dive.